Today on Erix Reviews, we're taking a look at Jurassic World, the blockbuster legacy sequel to Spielberg's classic 1993 phenomenon, which served as a franchise relaunch. It features mostly all new characters apart from the scheming scientist played by B.D. Wong, who really only has a very minor supporting role. But the new stars are Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Vincent D'Onofrio, Omar Sy, Ty Simpkins, Nick Robinson, and Irfan Khan. The film was directed by Colin Trevorrow. Let's take a look.
Eyes on me. Good.
Think it'll scare the kids?
This will give the parents nightmares.
He just went and made a new dinosaur?
Probably not a good idea.
It's killing for sport.
You got 20,000 people with nowhere to go.
We're going after it with everything we got.
We're safe in here, right?
Right from the get-go, you can tell this movie is a torch passer. Executive producer Steven Spielberg resurrects his nearly 20-year dormant franchise, and the result is ultimately not unlike the pile of adventure fantasies he put his stamp on throughout the 1980s. That is to say, a Spielberg movie that he didn't direct, but could have. It does not recapture the true sense of surprise and wonder present in 1993, but let's be fair and accept that even Steven Spielberg, master that he is, was unable to recapture that magic himself just 4 years later with his own sequel. Because you can't. But time and distance at least give you an opportunity to make the prospect of revisiting this world feel fresh enough. And so, this movie has that much going for it. And even while Colin Trevorrow may lack the cinematic storytelling finesse of Spielberg, he certainly knows how to be the orchestrator of a sufficiently glossy modern-day action-adventure picture, and he still ends up with what is easily the best sequel up until this point. It doesn't need to reinvent the wheel to accomplish this. It just needs to follow the man against nature / man against beast formula to a T and follow these Spielbergian family-appropriate adventure schematics very precisely, resulting in roundly satisfying, albeit mechanical, entertainment. That's right, Colin Trevorrow is a good director. He is a good director for this kind of picture. He would have been a perfectly good director for a Star Wars movie as well. Too bad he didn't get a chance to make one, but whatever. Anyway, Chris Pratt makes for a likable hero. I know we're supposed to hate him nowadays because the internet has told us to, and we must always do as the internet says. But let's remember that back here in the year of our Lord 2015, he was kind of fresh off Guardians of the Galaxy, and we still liked him just fine because maybe a smaller percentage of us cared what movie stars like to eat and read and who they fantasize to while they're whacking off or whatever. But my point is, most of us liked him. And there were all these rumors that he might be the next Indiana Jones or the next Han Solo. Basically, there were rumors up and down and all around that Chris Pratt was being positioned by the Hollywood kingmakers to be Harrison Ford 2.0. So I think it bears mentioning how in this film, he actually makes a strong enough case that it doesn't seem like a particularly preposterous notion. Meanwhile, Bryce Dallas Howard is a very beautiful woman, and she's a fine actress, and she looks terrific when she's sweating, and she knows how to scream, and so she looks terrific sweating and screaming in a tank top, and she's beautiful, and she's very likable, and she's the female lead in this movie, and I just told you all the reasons why that is the case. Vincent D'Onofrio is this particular film's asshole, and he wears the role well, and things play out precisely in the manner you would expect, and that's fine. More importantly, it's satisfying. It's worth mentioning that all the kills in this film are very satisfying, whether it's dinosaur on human or dinosaur on dinosaur. Yeah, the movie even indulges in some kaiju type stuff towards the end, and it's terrific. The fact is, you see some great action on display throughout. Honestly, the best and most impressive action in the franchise up to this point. You remember how cool and funny it was to see the lawyer get ripped off a public toilet in the first one? This movie gives you about a half dozen of those. In fact, I remember when the movie first came out 7 years ago now, there was some hokum drummed up film Twitter nonsense controversy about a minor female character who gets horribly killed. She's ripped to pieces by pterodactyls and then fed to a giant genetically modified water dinosaur. It's a very shocking, very impressive, very cool monster movie sequence of the type you pay money to see in a fucking monster movie. But way back in the day, you had some pearl-clutching armchair cinema activists with nothing better to do, complaining how it was unnecessarily cruel or worse, misogynistic to kill an unsympathetic and not particularly consequential character in such a horrible way. And frankly, you know what? Complain about whatever you want, okay? But really ask yourself why this matters to you all that much. Really ask yourself if maybe you just need to go outside more. And finally, maybe gulping down that bottle of window cleaner you've been contemplating is not such a bad idea. Anyway, back to the movie. It kind of has all the formula supporting characters you expect out of a sassy blockbuster movie made in the last 15 years. There is a techno hipster with the computers, and Lauren Lapkus, fresh off season 2 of Orange is the New Black, shows up and gets to share the film's single funniest character moment with that hipster. There are a couple of kids we're supposed to be afraid for, as if a family entertainment is going to actually ever result in the hideous deaths of important child characters. One of them is an asshole I've never seen before and haven't seen since, and the other is the kid from Iron Man 3, playing basically a more wounded and sensitive version of the kid from Iron Man 3. And the late Irfan Khan is the millionaire who owns the park, and he brings a different kind of swagger to his role than, say, Richard Attenborough had, and so on. Like I said, the movie doesn't break any molds, though I do appreciate its sense of self-awareness and occasional attempts to satirize the very commercial attitudes that resulted in its own conception. It's trading on the reality of Jurassic Park as this cultural phenomenon, and it's asking, what if, let's say, they'd managed to go beyond the scandalous deaths that happened all those years ago and actually open the theme park. And now, let's comment on the crass commercialism this entails, and kind of wink at the audience and let them know that yes, we understand this is a crass commercial enterprise, but look at you sitting there with your popcorn. You can tell this was originally written by Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, the same couple that resurrected the Planet of the Apes franchise, because it has a similar ethos about the dangers of playing God, and it is sensitive and humane in its depiction of man's relationship to animals and how easily we can exploit that relationship. And then you can tell someone went in there to dumb it down, because the movie seldom considers any of its ideas with any real seriousness. In the end, I think the important thing is that it works. There's just enough meat here that you have something to think about while sitting on the roller coaster ride. But it is, first and foremost, a ride, and a very well-designed one that is a lot of fun. Hey, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel and share the video. There's going to be some cool stuff coming to the channel, so you're going to want to keep track of it, and I hope you like all that stuff too. See ya.